Today I want to talk about latest information about Japan travel ban and about my opinion and my thoughts. So let's check it out from the latest news. This news came up yesterday. Let me read it up. Visitors to Japan decrease even after reopenings to tourists. What? At this channel about Japan travel ban, I keep talking about North Korean travel style. And the North Korean travel style in Japan started from June 10th last month. And tourists from South Korea arrived at Kansai International Airport in Japan on July 7th. So let's check it out the article. So a total of 120,000 visitors entered Japan in June when tourists were allowed back into the nation on group tours. After a 2 years hiatus, the Japan National Tourism Organization (JNTO) say on Wednesday that down 18% from May and 14% from April. Last month, Japan doubled its daily cap on entrance to 20,000 and began accepting tour groups from nations and regions classified as having a low number of positive corona cases. Right now, Japan has the most rising skyrocket COVID cases. But a mere 252 tourists entered the country between June 10 and 30 under the new scheme, according to preliminary figures from the Japan Tourism Agency. Let's keep going. Koichi Wada, head of JTA, told reporters on Wednesday that the nation was still in the early days since restarting inbound tourism, and he expected the numbers to increase from July onward. He said that the agency received strong requests from the travel industry to further ease restriction. I will leave this article to the description so you can check it out later. So, the travel agency, not only the travel agency, but also the Keidanren, the business association in Japan, and also the airline companies, and also me itself, keep telling to the Japanese government to reopen the border, and if you keep closing the border, please show us a roadmap when Japan will be reopened. But 2.5 years since we closed the border, nothing changed, and no clear answer from the Japanese government. I'm keep tracing this issue around 2.5 years. I keep waiting for Japan fully reopening, but 2.5 years, Japanese government never give us a hope, and also never give the roadmap. So you guys, if you keep planning to come to Japan or keep postponing your flight tickets and your hotel, just cancel it and rebook all of your tours on the time when the Japan is fully reopening, and also it's announced from the Japanese government officially. So let's move on to the next news. Japan COVID cases jump above 150,000 for first time. So it's irony that we keep closing the border and limited the arrivals 20,000 per day, but the COVID cases skyrocketing. And it's meaningless to keep closing the border. Most of the Japanese people think that don't open the border because people from overseas bring the COVID, and Japanese government cannot make action because they take care too much about based on wrong people's opinion. And also another problem is those media, Japanese domestic media, especially NHK and other media, keep broadcasting the daily cases every day as a breaking news, so that Japanese people is brainwashed by the number of the COVID cases. And on the last of the article, just only say a little bit how many people are hospitalized, how many person dead by the COVID. And also this news didn't say anything about how many person were hospitalized or how many person dead by the COVID. So let's check it out the news a little bit. So the article said people in Japan are seeing coronavirus cases spike higher than ever before with no peak in sight. Wednesday's daily topped 150,000. 30 of Japan's 47 prefectures saw record-breaking counts. The seventh wave is growing fast. Tokyo reported more than 20,000 new cases. It's not a record, but it's the highest tally since February. More and more children are falling ill. Doctors said it's becoming hard to find them hospital beds. Because if you got COVID, you have to go to the hospital which the government asks to go. You cannot go to your hospital in your neighbor. If you're COVID, they're gonna reject you coming to the hospital. So that's why limited numbers of the hospital and the beds. So hospital beds hard to find. Let's keep going. Japanese government top coronavirus advisor warns that things will get worse before they get better. Government Advisory Panel Chief Omi said, unfortunately, there is no indication yet when the current wave of the infection might peak. Possible that the number of infection might end up double that of the previous wave. Officials are not looking to reintroduce COVID restriction. Instead, they're pushing medical workers and people at risk of becoming seriously ill to get a forced shot. So, this broadcast said nothing about how many people have serious symptoms and how many people were hospitalized, how many persons were dead by the COVID. So this is a completely brainwashed news. So Japanese people, unfortunately, keep watching this news every day, so that Japanese people are seriously brainwashed that the COVID is very scary thing. COVID cases keep rising. So as my personal opinion, when those cases keep rising, I feel like people start to wear masks again outside, even this hot weather. So a few weeks ago, the government keep telling to people to take off your mask when you're outside to avoid heat stroke. And right now the COVID cases spikes and people start to freaking out about getting COVID. So again, even no matter the weather is, people start to wear masks again outside. So it means that if Japanese people keep wearing masks, it's difficult to reopen Japan's border for individual tourists, because as I mentioned at the last video, that why Japanese government only admits package tour North Korean travel style is because they want a person, tour guide, to keep watching you to keep wearing a mask. So I think that Japan will take more time for reopening for individual tourists. So my recommendation is do not plan to travel to Japan until everything is clear and announced by the Japanese government. I think from your standpoint, it's difficult to understand why Japan is keep closing the border even though the world is reopened for international tourists and people don't care much about COVID. Is we have several reasons. First, which I mentioned in this video, that it's brainwashed from the media, and also Japanese people don't access to the other language media. For example, they don't read English news, they don't read about Chinese news or other news, they just only watch Japanese news, TV, and also internet news, which keep telling about the COVID cases rising every day. And the second reason is Japanese people are not interested to go overseas for traveling. Only 20% of Japanese people have passports, seriously. So that's why most of the Japanese people don't understand about what's going on and the different culture outside of our country. So majority of the people who brainwashed by this media thinks that keep closing the border will help to decrease the number of the cases because the virus come from the overseas. This is the stem mindset of most of the Japanese people who don't want to open the border. This is my opinion, so don't take it seriously. I think it will take time, and this border closure is right now all about politics. So thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe, and do not forget to write your opinion, your thoughts to the comment. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.